From the back. All right. Hello, Scentsy Family. I am really excited to be here. I am incredibly honored that those kind words were said about me. Gosh dang it, Meredith. She warned me. She was like, "You're going to cry." I'm like, "I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to cry. It's not happening."
Use a tablecloth.
Okay, right here. Okay, so I'm just going to move past that part. They told me I was going to have a lab, and I've got this thing in my hand, so bear with my cards here. Actually, sharing our light is my favorite part of the business that we do. We have the opportunity to build people up, to help them do things they didn't think they could do. Okay, so I am a proud Navy wife. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary while I was in Cancun. And he couldn't make it because the Navy is not awesome all the time. Okay. I am a mama of 5. Oh, wow. And I've been selling Scentsy and sharing Scentsy for 3.5 years. I met my sponsor, D. Long, and I walked up there right to her booth, and I'm rocking a double stroller because at this point I've got 4 kids. And I said, "What is and she was like, "Scentsy." And I said, "Oh, yeah, what's that?" And she said, "Well, here." And so she just let me smell it right away. And obviously, once you smell it, you're hooked, Yeah. So I told her, I said, "Well, I can't stay. I've got 4 kids running around. All they want to do is play with the airplanes. So I want to book a party," which is, of course, when you're doing an event, that's what you want. Somebody walk up and say, "I want to book a party." So we booked a party. She sent me an email promptly the same day. I had to look back in my email to remember. So she sent me an email, and we booked a party. Perfect, great. She was, super prompt and everything, getting me my hostess packet. And then she called and said, "Are we still good for the party?" And I said, "You know what? I just really stink. I didn't do good inviting." So she said, "That's okay. Don't worry about it. Let's try again." So we booked another party. And she called me, I think it was like the day of. She had been in contact with me, but it was the day of that I ended up having to cancel again, even though I'd actually done... Again, I'm so sorry! So we rescheduled, and, so I was super sick, that's why I canceled. I was like on the couch, I think she was 8-year-old, was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches for dinner, that kind of sick. And so we rescheduled, and we held the party. It was fantastic. We had 1 guest besides me. My girlfriend, my best girlfriend at the time, came over, and she had her 2 little ones, and so it was just low-key. And Dee was perfectly fine with that. She said, "I can use the practice. Don't worry, if you got one guest there, not a big deal. I'll come over, we'll just have a good time." So we did. She brought out all of her stuff and had a nice display up, and as she was putting things onto the table for her display, my children were carefully packing them back into their boxes for her. And so anyways, the party goes on, and we ended up, my girlfriend and I both really loved the fact that, same thing as the reason since we started, the emotions that we felt when we were smelling those scents, and like, "Oh, this one smells like, a plant we used to have at our home growing up, and this one reminds me of my grandma's house," and, just all the different things. So I looked at my girlfriend, and knowing, okay, so you have to understand, I had done like 3 home businesses prior to this, and asking my husband, who was deployed at the time, I couldn't even face him face to face. I had to ask him like over the telephone, "Can I just invest a little bit more and take another chance?" And so, of course, he's a supportive husband, even though I don't blame him for having some doubts. He said, "Go ahead," Anyway, so I signed up, and I have to catch up to my cards here because I've gone past them now. Okay, so I signed up and I've absolutely loved selling Scentsy. There's no way that I would ever stop just because I love the company so much. Besides the fact that we have an awesome product, talking about like shining your light, that light comes from home office and Heidi and Orville to begin with. Our job as consultants is to keep it going, okay? So the values that our company has, generosity, authenticity, simplicity, those are all things that I have found bleed over into my personal life. And that's the kind of work that you want to take home. You know, you're always trying to keep work at the office, but this is work that we bring home. And I'm happy to have it. My kids help me package up orders and everything. And this is actually not a sad thing, so don't worry. I got notice 2 days ago that my company that I work for my day job, I do tech support for a software company, they notified me that they were dissolving my position. So normally that would be, and it was at first, a super sad thing, but then we looked at our finances, we juggled things around, and we figured out a way for me to stay home. So that's super exciting because that's how I've always wanted to work my business, was full-time. That's that one. Okay, so this is kind of a side note, but I feel like it was something I really needed to say. I kept coming back to it in my mind. My best friend, Courtney, sorry, I don't think we would have become friends without Scentsy. We were at soccer practice, our girls were in soccer together, and I went up and I handed her a sample, and because I pushed myself outside my comfort zone, I found the best friend I've ever had. So the thought that came to mind with that is, somebody told me at convention, I can't remember her name, but she said, if you recruit somebody, ask them if they have a friend that wants to join you guys. I mean, what is better than having a friend to start your journey in Scentsy? So I'm always asking somebody, like, you know, for Spring Sprint, do you have anybody that wants to come with? They know people you don't know, you know. So the more the merrier. I don't know where I'm at on time. I brought my husband's watch up to track time, and I didn't even start it.
2 more minutes. 2 more.
2 more. Okay, faster. Got it. So changing gears a little bit from my story, one of the cool things that our team does to shine our light with each other is my director in 2011 or 12, whenever our Las Vegas convention was. Anyways, she had this idea that we would all contribute to these like goodie bags, and we just like all brought something, and I don't remember what the theme was for it, but it really, we all met and were able to share these with each other, and it just really kept us close. Even though convention is huge and awesome, it was still nice to have that closeness. So that's something that I'm excited to be able to carry forward. So who's ever met somebody that was somebody you had just met, but they actually had a family member in common with them, or a friend that was in common, or they happened to go to the same high school as you? I mean, I think we probably all bumped into somebody that we didn't realize we had a connection with. And that's how I feel how the Scentsy family is. Like that law of 7, like you know, 7 degrees of separation. I feel like that's how that is, and I keep hearing from people on my team that they say, oh, I'm friends with so-and-so, have you, you know, ever talked to them or met with them? And no, I've seen their name, but I haven't. But that person's encouraging the people on my team. So it's not all on me to, you know, encourage them. It's all of us together encouraging each other and growing. I don't remember when it was. My memory is not good. But Orville talked about, it was in Vegas, about there being plenty of basically fish in the sea, and that there's no need to really compete with each other, that, you know, coming together is really like the best way for all of us to succeed. So I really loved being able to hear that from him. Okay. I'm just finding the most important thing that I really want to talk about. Okay. So this I actually wrote this morning because I've rewritten my talk about 6 times now. And so when I was at leadership, it was a smaller leadership that our Superstar Director, Becca Levi, does. Becca's awesome. Props to her. So I met Danette Kroll and her husband, and she says her name, Danette, to be clear. And they both told me something that really stuck with me. And it's really all about how, like, we're going to have mountains and valleys in our business. And it's really all about how high we bounce back once we've hit one of those valleys, and then how long we stay down. So I want to kind of give you guys food for thought. Like, are you guys giving yourself a break? When you're shining your light to your team or to just fellow consultants, are you doing that for yourself too? What if we had like very little care if we ever failed? If we could just jump and know, we all know we're going to fail. Every one of us in this room, we're going to fail at some things. So if you jump knowing that's going to happen at some point and just say, okay, well, that was one of them. You know, it's kind of like going for the no. You know that there's going to be things that don't go the way you want. But it all is about when that happens, how high you bounce, and then how long you stay down. So that's what we're all here to help each other with, is to bounce higher and to bounce back faster. The only quote that I really want to leave you guys with is one from Maya Angelou that I really love. I've completely littered this entire thing. It's covered. This is like one of my favorite quotes. People will forget what you said, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. So, thank you guys.
Of course, we have something for Christina, and it's not fake. So thank you so much.
Let's hear it one more time for Christina. She did a great job. As if it weren't hard enough to get up here and speak, she has